It's a schedule.
And
Oh,
we are live. Yay!
Yeah.
Welcome back to Game of Thrones House of the Dragon for episode 7. Yes, it's called Driftmark because most, if not, I think all of the entire episodes is set in Driftmark, which is where the Valerion's throne is sits. It's the right tense, I'm pretty sure. I'm Melissa. Welcome to my channel. I'm joined with Sailor Tortilla, aka Age, and then we have Andres. So you guys, if you're a fan of this show, you're a fan of Game of Thrones, hit the subscribe button. We're here every single week, giving you our thoughts, opinions, our analysis. We're super knowledgeable. We got a book reader here, and then you got fans here. It's just really fun times. And share this with your friends, with your Game of Thrones friends, because you can never have enough talks about, being in Westeros, black versus green. And I'm so excited to dive into this episode. I think we'll have lots to talk about. But first, I'm going to start with my attempted abridged version of the recap of this episode, which is titled again, Driftmark. Okay, here we go. I think one day we should actually time me, but here we go. Let's go. So, episode 7, we open up with Lena's funeral. She died last episode. No one is asking questions about how she died. I wonder if they know it was a suicide, but that's just my thoughts. Rhaenyra is trying to comfort her son. Helena Targaryen is still obsessed with bugs. Really freaking weird. I wonder if she's like some kind of witch. She's really weird. Aegon hates his sister, while Aemon is very into her. He's like, you should do your duty. Larys keeps looking at Alicent weirdly. Rhaenyra and Daemon are making the eyes at each other at this funeral. It's a very long funeral scene. And we see something in the sky rumbling. I thought to myself, is that Vhagar circling the sky looking for a new rider? Because I did mention this last episode. I want to call the fact that I was right. Rhaenys and Corlys, they are having their own talk. She calls him out for his own ambition. He doesn't give a shit about her being on the throne. She's like, no, you're the one who wants the power. She wants Driftmark to go to Bela and not one of the bastard children, because she knows, like we all know, they are bastards. Daemon and Rhaenyra have a talk. We have confirmation that Rhaenyra and her husband did try to have kids, but it just never happened. And she was feeling lonely. She wanted to actually enjoy sex. So she was like, you know what? I did what I had to do. And I, slept with Harwin, sorry. They get busy on the beach. Finally, they bang, not caring if they're seen. They're just out here in public. I was just like, I was anxious the whole time. I was like, dog, like somebody could spy on you. But I guess she already has bastard children. Who cares? Aemon is on the beach as well. He is like peeking at something. At first, I was like, wait, is he looking at them having sex? But no, he sees something rumbling in the dark in the night. It's like a rumbling dragon who's sleeping. Who do we see? Oh my God, it's Vhagar. As Vhagar is trying to sleep, Aemon is trying to get closer. He's waking her up. He doesn't, she doesn't burn him to a crisp right away, but she's about to. But he says something in Valeryon. I guess doing some, because there's different ways that dragons and riders can bond, and I think this is one of the ways. I guess they see something in each other. I wish they would explain some of that more. But Aemon climbs on Vhagar and they fly, and he has now bonded with a dragon. And this felt very much like a fantasy show in this moment. There's something that happens to me in the inside when I see a mystical creature bonding with a human. I felt like, I know he'll probably be evil in the future, but this is a really cool moment. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And then cut to the cave. There is a kid fight. This was like violent. Okay, these are all small children. There are insults being thrown. There's a knife. And now we see how he gets that eye patch in the future. He has lost his eye. He's all slashed up. This is a great preview for what we'll see in the future when they all fight as adults. I wrote that down. There is the questioning, a little mini trial of Aemon over the lie, because they know that like the fight started because he said a vicious lie about the kids being bastards. Viserys demands answers. He keeps questioning, who said this lie? Who said this lie? Alicent is being very snipey, and there's an accusation. It was Aegon. And then Aegon tells Viserys, because everybody knows the truth. Look at them. Viserys says they are family and they need to stop this shit and they all need to go to bed. Alicent, though, demands for one of Rhaenyra's one of Rhaenyra's son's eyes to be cut out. I was like, that's kind of extra. Like, are you serious? Alicent demands Criston. She doesn't give a shit about what Viserys is saying. He's like, no. She's like, yes. And she's demanding her protector, Criston, to take an eye. Criston advances, but Daemon stops. And Alicent takes the knife to take the eye out herself. But Rhaenyra stops her. And she cuts Rhaenyra instead. And Rhaenyra says, now they see you as you are. Viserys says this is over. Everyone go to bed. They all go to bed. Later, Otto visits Alicent. He surprisingly applauds her for her behavior. She's like, sorry, I was momentarily insane. I regret it. He's like, no. Now I know you're in this game and you'll do what it takes. And she's like, oh, okay. He tells her that Aemon was right because now they have won the biggest dragon. We cut to Rhaenys arriving late. He has missed everything. Admits he's pretty useless, but he's saying to her, I will stay and I will, be the king and the husband that you need. And then we see that the king and the queen are leaving to King's Landing. And then we're cutting back to a plan that's being formed between Daemon and Rhaenyra. She says something about fire is a prison and the sea offers an escape. I'm not quite sure what that means, to be honest. Maybe we could dive into what that means. And then we see Larys and Alicent talk. And for the first time during this conversation, it became a little bit clear to me why he killed his family. And I think it was to prove to her that he will do what it takes no matter what it is. And I think when you're killing your own family, that's a pretty big statement saying, I'm in this, I will do what you ask of me because, I'm on your team for now, because he could be shifty. We don't know. Rhaenyra suggests to Daemon that they should get married, but Rhaenys needs to die. So there's a lot of cross-cutting going on here. And you know what? To tell you the truth, they got me because Daemon pays Carl to kill Rhaenys. And then we see a wedding happening between Daemon and Rhaenyra. Finally, they wanted to be together. And it's also like a power move because she's like, I will need your help to defeat the Green because now they have the biggest dragon. And also, like, I feel like it's now more out in the open about their secret of bastard children. And then we see all the way at the end, Rhaenys is not dead. It was a whole fake out situation, but now he can fuck off across the sea with his boyfriend to live his own life because everyone now believes he is dead. Phew. And that's the end of my recap. So my question to y'all is, how do you rate this episode? Age, go first.
2 dragons out of 5. I am drinking an espresso right now because that episode left me very tired. When the kid claimed the dragon, I was like, no, what is this Disney nonsense? At the funeral, get out of town, stop.
Fucking called it. Okay, Andres, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.5. 2.5 out of 5. I would have done the 2 as well. But I think that whole middle part of like Aemon losing the eye and then everybody kind of confronting each other was like, felt like something. I was like, this is something. And I like that scene. So the rest, I mean, these past 2 episodes have been like so rushed and not the best quality. So yeah.
I was thinking about a 3.5 or 4, just because for me, I feel like there was a lot of development and also a lot of setup. Like when Alicent
you're breaking up.
that show. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I know you were about to say when Alicent did something you thought it was like.
Can you see me?
Oh, your camera is also kind of like
coming back. No, she's having internet problems.
I will transfer to my laptop. Hold on.
Oh, it got better the moment you said that. How annoying.
I know, isn't that life? But you like this episode a lot, which is different.
3.5? Is that liking it a lot?
She said 3.5 or 4.
Oh. Oh, no.
3.5 is good, I think. I don't know.
Melissa, I think we can still hear you better than we can see you.
Oh, wait, but that really bothers me. Hold on.
Oh, well, you're okay now. You're a little... Oh, 2 Melissas. Can we go back and forth between Melissas? Oh, this one's so much better.
Oh.
You have echo.
So, Age, what do you think of the episode? We both seem to have not liked it.
I want to go to sleep so bad. I didn't even know. She's going to kill me when she comes back. I didn't even know that was Rhaenys in the boat until she said it.
In the boat at the end? Yeah, because he shaved his head and stuff.
I thought it was Grey Worm.
Can you wait? How do I finish one?
Mute.
Sorry. How do I mute? How do I take myself out?
Muting.
Chaos is a ladder, bro.
Chaos is a ladder. I don't know. Wait. If I end this, will I end the whole
Melissa,
story?
you have to mute.
This is still better than the House of Dragons.
I endorse this message.
Wait, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get
Melissa,
it.
just turn off one of your second screens.
Wait, maybe I need to leave the studio. Hold on. Wait, I have to leave the studio.
Melissa, stop. Please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
For free.
Yes. We can hear
For
you.
free.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I'm having a bad technology day. Sorry about that.
Triplets.
I have switched to my phone because I don't know what's wrong with my computer. Can you see and hear me?
Much better now.
Yeah, we
I
could hear
feel
you.
like
We could see you perfectly.
Okay, all
You're
right.
gonna have a lot of
3.5.
fun rewatching that and making
my
it
God.
a terrible YouTube short.
To the
3.5 dragons.
To the people of the future watching this, I apologize. I'm having internet issues, but okay, we're back. As long as you can hear and see me now. Okay.
So 3.5 dragons, huh?
I gave 3.5 because I thought there was a lot of development with certain characters, and then it also set stuff up. I feel like, what more do you want? Like, what was missing for you?
I just feel like the episode was like the writers figured, okay, everyone's going to have questions after this 10-year time skip and all the actors changing. So we need to have really quick dialogue to address all of the problems everybody had. And that's not a good way to write a show.
It was a lot, like, especially the last bit of like, okay, let's come up with this plan and then also execute it all in the last 30 seconds of the show.
I was very confused. Who was that rando that Daemon killed?
So that's the body that they found in the fire.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, we have
who
a
was
comment.
it?
But y'all didn't get it. That's why you don't like it.
I mean, I knew that it wasn't Rhaenys in the fire, but
so when we see Daemon grabbing that guy and he snapped his neck, that's like the body that they find. That's Rhaenyra that died, so that Rhaenyra could like escape to wherever the fuck he went.
I thought it was Rhaenyra until I sat here and you said it wasn't him.
No, we saw like there was a close up of his face at the end. We saw it's Rhaenyra. He's alive.
Yeah, she mentioned she didn't recognize him.
I don't know. My brain just said, Grey Worm. Or some guy, some bald guy. I don't know, in the dark.
I feel like the show is moving too fast. I can't imagine how much material they have left at this point.
Well, apparently
I definitely agree that it's moving too fast at times. Like the pacing is very uneven. Sometimes I like the pace a lot.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm like, whoa, wait, hold on. Okay, now I have to like get adjusted to the fact that not only are Daemon and Rhaenyra reunited, they're married, and like this is it. We're into whatever the next thing is. And then the next episode is going to be a big time jump. But hopefully now they can get to a consistent pace. I just want like one consistent pace.
I can't handle another time jump. I thought we were done with this shit.
Well, the kids are going to be adults.
We have to see we have to see adult Aemon and adult Aegon and all the adult Valyrian children fight each other. You knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be a time skip in this episode, and when I saw that there wasn't, I thought we were going to stay here. And now this is a lot. This
time
show
skip
is
for
more
let
like,
us know what you rate the episode in the comments.
This show is like a novela. I just want to say this show is like a novela more than any other HBO show ever.
Yeah, and I love it. It's like, who's sleeping with who? Who has bastard children? Who's gonna win the fucking throne? It's great.
Now, okay, but last week you didn't like. So this episode really won you back over, huh? I told you it could take one episode.
Yeah, because as I said before, I think we saw some development. Because I think we saw a new side, especially to Alicent, because for somebody who's so about like the rules and what's right, she was really going like putting harm to one of her kids really set her over the edge. And even she commented on herself saying, I stepped out of line. Now the whole realm will think I'm insane. And then we kind of got to see a new side to Otto as well, because she thinks he's gonna like really like lay it in on her for misstepping and threatening the princess. But now we see a new side of him, and he's like actually impressed with her. Like, well, now I know that you're willing to do what you need to do, and like be be tougher or be ruthless for the war that's coming, because he's the one that's been calling this war since
Yeah.
like whatever episode. So I like seeing those new sides to both of those characters. And then I think they pretty wait, Marcia. I also don't think Rhaenyra and Daemon don't have as much chemistry. Him and the younger actress had more, in my opinion. I'll agree with that as well.
Yeah.
I think in
Yeah.
general we're all still getting used to like the older
Yeah.
Rhaenyra actress, and she plays it a little different. It's not bad. It's just different. It's a little like lower energy, I would say.
I would be more interested if we still had that actress.
They had chemistry, but I don't think that Emma is doing a bad job. What was I gonna say next? I can't read comments and also talk. I'm not skilled at that.
Okay, just show them and I'll read them out.
We're talking about Alicent. She was fighting. She was Mama Bear.
Same. I don't know what you're saying. Same too, hun. But
oh my god.
Should we go into the Hightowers first?
Oh
yeah.
We're doing character by character.
I have to do the banners with my phone. Hold on. Okay, so I was talking about Alicent. Yeah, so I think we got to see like another layer to her and her father. So I think that was cool, because I think it's like another, like we're seeing like another sphere of like their ruthlessness and their cruelty. And I can't wait to see like, you know, how far they'll go, especially now that they have the biggest dragon in the realm. And then we also got to see more of Aemon, which for me, it was more satisfying, and I was gratified, because I knew that like, well, now that Vhagar is missing a rider and he doesn't have a dragon, like that has to come together. Like that has to make sense and like cross that bridge. So it just makes me ask more questions about like, well, like why did Vhagar let herself be claimed by him? Because I feel like these dragons are always being told to us like they're very intelligent, but I feel like he seems really kind of like unhinged sometimes. Like why did that work? So I'm interested to see more of his journey. Like that was like another development and a step for him. So I'm excited to see more of that character. So it got me hyped, you know?
But what you said about the dragon is why I'm mad about it. Like the owner just died.
Yeah, but
are you just mad at the character for doing that, or are you mad at like the fact that it happened in the story?
I am fully willing to accept that a prince is going to be a little piece of shit. My issue is that the dragon was just like, oh, okay, little white boy, let's go.
Well, you could tell like they did a good job in the previous episode setting up like how important dragons are to Aemon, and so he had like a strategy kind of going into it to like take it. I said last episode that
the strategy?
It was like, you know, he knew the words basically.
Just
like, he
walk
knew how
down,
to calm it down and then
just wake it up a little bit.
Get on top of it. Yeah, he had some little words we don't usually hear that are not Dracarys. So
I know
they seem to work.
I know that Dohitis means serve, only because in the old Game of Thrones, that was what Arya had to say to get into the house of the whatever it's called.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned last week that I thought Aemon was like one of the more interesting characters. I feel like that held true this week in a big way. His decision led to like the most interesting part of the episode by far.
I agree.
And I also like one thing we were talking about a few weeks ago was like we kind of knew that at some point Alicent and Otto, like they were these strict like things should be going this way, rule following people, and like at some point that was going to fall in on them, just watching the rules be broken over and over again while they had to play by them. It seems like that started to happen this episode. Like their righteousness started to like get the best of them.
Yes.
So it is coming to fruition a little bit. I just didn't really find much to enjoy outside of the middle of the episode. I was like heartbroken when I thought they were killing Rhaenys. Let me tell you that. I was about to give the episode like a 1 just because I was like, I don't even know who really to like root for. Like, am I team like Hightower like all the way now? I don't like them that much, but I can't after watching last week's episode, what a great guy Rhaenys was, and then that little conversation he had, I liked him even more today. When I thought they just killed him off to like for strategy, I was like, This is
When I
bad.
thought-
This is really bad.
Wait, I'm still on Aemond here because we don't just have two teams. What Aemond did with the dragon, like that's going to create a pretty big rift. I'd be pretty pissed if someone took my daughter, wife's dragon. Like I don't know. I know Rhaenyra is not going to care, and she's the one who married Daemon. But like the kids, this is not good.
I mean, I feel like, is it all really his fault? Because the dragon also has to like say yes as well.
Yeah.
It's not just Aemon, it's also the dragon who chose the rider.
But you know, her kids were gonna get around to it eventually. Gosh.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if Vhagar would have been like, yes, Baela, yes, Rhaena, y'all can claim me.
But
Vhagar said yes.
this is like Otto's first week on the job again. Like what a week to start. My God.
I do think like what we talked about last week still reigns true, where it's kind of you're thinking, why Otto again? She could have hired anybody. I knew Aemon was going to kidnap Vhagar. Yeah, Melissa kind of called it last week too.
Yeah. Yep. And I will say I don't think it's kidnapping if a dragon acquiesced to your claim. Yeah. It's not kidnapping if the dragon acquiesced to your request to being taken. Because she's the biggest dragon. She could have just like tell him to fuck off and Jakaris on his ass, but she didn't.
She almost did.
It's weird that she didn't.
What is it that we want to talk about next? Aegon Targaryen continues to I thought the scene where he was talking shit about his sister was so funny. Because he's like, damn, I'm betrothed to her. I'm not into her. We have nothing in common. So I think they're continuing to show us that he's not taking his responsibility seriously. And I think for Aemon, it's very frustrating because he seems like he's more into this whole like role.
All of it. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see more of their dynamic as they all grow up as adults. I don't know if we will see it because they do move fast with the time jumps, but them being all very different is very interesting to me.
Yeah, I think Aegon is interesting in how not interesting he is, because we kind of expected him to be really, really important, and he is from like a strategic perspective, but he's also just so out of it, especially compared to Aemond, that it's kind of interesting that it's happening that way. I didn't see that coming.
He looks just like the kid from Stranger Things.
Which one?
Will Byers. That's it. That's all I have to say about Aegon.
The dragon crosses the rider. What does that mean? Do you know more about the dragon lore? Tell me more.
Maybe they mean chooses?
Chooses?
Oh, yeah. That's true.
The dragon.
There's something to that, yeah.
That's why I don't think the dragon was kidnapped. Like,
can I just say how much I don't care about Rhaenyra's kids? I could not name them.
That's Viserys, and Luke.
Yeah.
What's the new baby's name? Oh, Joffrey.
Oh, Joffrey.
Joffrey, yeah.
Oh, I think
named
Luke
after the
Viserys. So it's like Luke, Jace, and Joffrey. There we go. 3. Okay.
Yeah, Joffrey named after Laenor's lover that Criston Cole beat the hell out of.
So I want to hear more about what you guys didn't like so I could explain it to you. Y'all don't even realize what the end was, so I feel like, okay, tell me. Let me know.
No, I mean,
time moved so strangely in this show. It just like started. I was like, okay, we're at the funeral. We got this beautiful marble.
But the time has been moving fast since the beginning of this show. So, like, what is it about this episode?
They went from like 10 years to like a week, and I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, I think the pace of this particular episode, and like it's actually a 2-episode block, right? I think the jump in last week's, we talked about like some things like really didn't work. There were characters we wanted to know more about that it seemed like important when they died, and we wanted to care, but we really didn't. So, and then it kind of carried on to this week, I thought, where the ending was rushed. Like, first of all, the first half is about the funeral of this lady that we just kind of almost just met last week.
Were we supposed to care?
Exactly. It's like, okay, this is just they're all together, so that's kind of interesting. And then, Rhaenyra and Daemon right away. This is like the first time you see them together as adults. They're already banging. By the end of the episode, they're married. It's all kind of like, just whoa, what is happening here?
They're
And then
already-
at the I love that middle scene, but it just seemed like too many things happened at the funeral. The pacing was just off. Honestly, it's like you wanted some of those things that happened to develop. Like they could have almost been their own episodes. But I mean, I get it. Hopefully there's going to be a big payoff in these last 3 where it's like you have enough context of everyone's childhood that the last 3 episodes they can hopefully take their time with, and they're going to pop and like make sense in a way. But in order to get to that point, the pacing's been like all off. And I thought this episode was just kind of like, hopefully the last time they do it, but they definitely did it again.
I just feel terrible for like Rhaenyra. I keep thinking about Rhaenyra. Like this funeral, like everything really did. It was like the funeral and everything has to happen. But like the part where he just had the water up to his knees, it was like the only slow little quiet moment of the show.
You feel
I need
bad
more of
for him?
that.
I don't feel bad for him because
I
he
need
live
more
his life across the sea.
No, I just need more like scenes to ponder and feel what's happening in the show. And like
Yeah.
we don't have any space to do that in the show.
There's a lot of characters that haven't like been done justice. I mean, a few of them last week. Rhaenyra is another pretty good one. Yeah, it's the pace that's been very like season 8-ish at times, or whatever. Last few seasons.
I don't want it.
Like I feel like it should have been a bigger deal that Daemon and Rhaenyra get married. And I think maybe they wanted it to be a big deal because it was at the end of the episode, but that whole thing was so rushed.
You mean like a reaction from people in the like the characters? Is that what you mean? Like a bigger deal?
Like not 2 minutes at the end of an episode from like just reuniting to all of a sudden killing her, well, like faking her husband's death and getting married. Like, how is that just 90 seconds of an episode?
I know.
Unless, you're trying to get through something.
That could be a whole season of another show.
Yeah, exactly. That could have been at least a full episode. I mean, you just see them reunite as adults at the beginning of this one. And their whole everything happens all at once.
Or like jump around.
Yeah.
Am I right? Am I right if I say that Otto's first words in the episode were like, Alicent, no, don't do it.
Maybe there was a point I laughed at how just like kind of cliche it was, but it worked enough. Where I think Viserys is questioning Aemond or whatever, and he's like, "What rumors?" And then they cut to a shot of Otto just like coming out from the shadows, like.
How did I miss that? I was looking directly at Alicent. Alicent was doing such a good job freaking out.
It was just like Otto leaning in to be like, "This is my moment."
I also miss that.
Yeah.
So their speedy wedding worked for me because I feel like that whole after thing that happened in the throne room of the Driftmark, where like there's like this whole mini trial for what's his name, Aemon, and how we see Alicent wanting that revenge, and I think Rhaenyra, maybe for the first time, she realizes like how open this open secret is, and now that they also do have that dragon. And I liked what she was saying to Daemon. She was like, I'm really gonna need your help now to fight the Greens, and the only way to do that is for us to share blood. So like they're gonna have to like bang and have a child and to get married, and then we see them get married. And
yeah,
I know that we only just got her as an adult now, but I'm thinking about it like, I guess in a larger sense, how like we've been seeing these two characters pine after each other and like wanting each other and finding their way to each other. So and we finally got to see them come together. So for me, it worked.
I think that's a fair point, but I will say that the reason like the younger Rhaenyra and younger Daemon, I prefer that is because there was actually a longer period of like, what is their relationship, and it's developing, and then you got character development through that, and it did a lot, and there was so much to like mine there that's where I feel like the injustice came by rushing through this portion, which is like kind of the biggest thing that's happened between them so far, and it was just like a flicker of this episode.
That's a really good point, and I didn't even think about it. I was focused on, because Melissa, I think you're right. I think watching them pine for each other for so long, that would have made, like, that was leading to something that worked, but this didn't work for me. I was also shocked that they would go back to boat sex in a show where boat sex is so.
Who had boat sex? Boat sex?
They were in a boat.
They
No.
were
It
in
was
a
a boat
boat
on the beach.
I thought there is.
Oh,
was
but they
that
were
what
on
it was?
the beach. Like
It was
on
like
the
an
sand.
upside down boat.
It was an upside down boat.
But they
I
were on
couldn't
the
tell.
sand.
That scene was, that whole beach and
Dark.
sex scene was very darkly lit for me. I was like,
So many of the episodes are always darkly lit for me. I feel like this show is just naturally dark cinematography, and it's sometimes annoying. I feel like I can't see.
But yeah, I don't know. It didn't work for me. I think the other actress had better chemistry with him, and I know in real life she's 22, so that makes it a little easier to watch. I don't know. This show kind of sucks now. I like when they were kids better.
well, thankfully this was just a 2-episode block. The first 5 episodes when they were kids kind of like worked for us, and now they're gonna do hopefully 3 full episodes where everyone is just an adult already, and we
I
can just
hope it's
get over
different.
it. And hopefully that works at least as well as the first 5, even though I think there's pressure on it to work better because it's the closeout to the season. But this 2-episode block was very like, well, if we don't tell this piece, then nothing's going to make sense later. That's how it felt, these 2 episodes.
I hope so, but I used to tell myself that during all of season 7 of Game of Thrones. Like, oh, it's okay. It's leading to something good. So, like, it's giving me all of those really bad feelings. Because, like, logically, if this were any other show, I'd be like, yeah. But, like, you know what other shows I watch that, like, I don't have this issue with? Severance. I have
Severance was great, huh?
like, season 2 will be excellent. I have full confidence in those creators. But Game of Thrones, HBO, no. I don't trust them.
So Game of Thrones, once they got past the books and George R.R. Martin was like not involved anymore, and you saw enough bad writing, like badly written episodes in a row, I felt like pretty confident, like this is going nowhere and this is bad and they're rushing through it. But with this show, I haven't read the book or anything, but I know that it's all fleshed out and it goes somewhere, and people who have read it seem to like where it goes. So I'm like, it's gotta, something's gotta pay off. And there's been enough good writing in spots to make me think like, oh, when they get to like the juiciest parts, there's gonna be a decent payoff. Like I really like that scene today with Aemon and other kids and Alicent and Rhaenyra and Viserys. It was good. I liked it.
I do like that Alicent told Viserys this wasn't enough, because it's never enough with him. Melissa, are you okay?
I'm trying to put this on a tripod, but it's not really a tripod.
Fair.
Yeah, so we finally got to see this character again. Does anybody have any thoughts? Because I did mention in my recap, I feel like his reasoning for killing his family was more clear to me in this episode. Just showing Alicent that like he's willing to do what he needs to do to, win whatever she wants to win in whichever moment. Because she told him, I don't need anything right now, but I will call a favor on you sometime in the future.
He really just wants to kill people. You want me to kill somebody? I'll do it.
I'll do it again. That wasn't an accident. That was no fluke. I have this feeling about him that is kind of like, does anybody get like a Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense vibe? He only shows up when Alicent's around.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
I'm like, does anybody else see this guy? But yeah, that's about as much as I remember.
My
Dragons Forever.
top
This
five
episode kind of reminds me of season 8, episode 3, Battle of Winterfell.
Oof.
I don't know that I
That's
saw that.
is that the yep, that's
Episode
the
3.
Is that the one where like the
the thing happens. That's the
White
big
Walkers
battle that
get to
should have
Winterfell?
lasted.
Is that the
Yeah, the
long
big battle that lasted 24
Um,
hours that should have lasted between 2 weeks and 2 years, in my opinion.
episode 3?
Yeah. I don't know. That makes sense.
It was so
the
dark.
long night.
It was.
Yeah, I remember people saying that it was. So I didn't really watch it, but I know Arya just kills the guy at the end, and then all the rest
You
of the
didn't
White
watch
Walkers
it?
die. I didn't really watch season 8. I saw a bunch of clips.
He didn't
Oh my
watch it, but
God.
he knows everything that happens.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
of course. So
It's dark.
I know that Arya just killed the guy, and then all the people died, and I feel like
just
that does
exploded.
kind of remind me of Daemon and Rhaenyra getting married at the end of this. I feel like, I thought this was building up to something bigger.
No, just get to the plot. They get married next. It's all about the kids. It's fine. It's fine. Viserys is. Oh my God, when is Viserys gonna die? They can't do that many time jumps.
I knew
He's
I was,
missing a whole arm.
I knew I was gonna give this a high rating when I saw those kids beating the shit out of each other, because I was like, yo, this is a mini preview of what we're gonna get as adults, but when they have their dragons or they're all gonna kill each other, I will at least appreciate a good battle episode. At least, because, and you know what? I know probably Miguel will direct that episode. I think it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen like dragons fighting each other, right? Is that a thing?
They're saving it because these little motherfuckers are gonna grow into big motherfuckers and kill each other with their dragons. I'm excited. I want to see it.
Yeah, I feel like Rhaenyra's kids are goners. He kind of reminds me of Ramsay Bolton, Dragons Forever.
Who reminds you of Ramsay Bolton?
Larys.
I'm gonna guess Aemond.
Oh,
I don't know, but I guess you're right. It could be Larys.
can we call?
I don't know.
Larys
Ramsay was
Littlefinger?
pretty his own thing.
Ramsay was pretty evil. Yeah. I was gonna give it a high rating for that scene alone, because I think it also did a good job of like building that rift, because now like everyone knows that they're bastards, but like the king refuses to denounce them, so it's just like building this hate and this resentment, and I think that needs to also pay off when we see them as adults and they're all fighting each other. So I think they did a good job of like showing how much like they hate each other and stuff. So
I mean, seriously though, that like everybody knows scene, I feel like that should have also been longer. That should I don't know. The show's all kinds of weird.
I liked that
really
scene.
didn't
I
like
feel like
this.
that was good enough.
yeah, I liked it too.
It also lasted too long.
While
I'm saying
Viserys was like, it's not true, okay? Those are
everybody get along. Say
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
sorry.
Everybody
blah.
go to bed.
We are a family.
But while I wanted the scene to be longer, it also lasted too long. There were like 2 shots. They were just showing everyone just standing there. It was awful. It really felt like a novela.
Viserys is kind of like the dad in Hereditary, if anybody remembers that movie.
So
And the
he did
dad.
nothing.
No, the dad just like everything is falling apart. They're clearly haunted by demons. They're like lost their daughter, all this stuff. And the mother and the son have like this decaying relationship. And the dad will just like walk in the door and be like, have you studied for your SATs?
Yeah, that's true.
They'll like be fighting at the dinner table like, we are a family.
I don't recall.
It's
Are there
good.
characters?
That movie's great.
I am using my phone, unfortunately, and I'm like, it's giving me that red zone. Are there any characters that you guys wanted to go over that you wanted to talk about? Think,
We
Rhaenyra.
kind of touched on
Daemon's-
Rhaenyra and Daemon a lot already in terms of how rushed their storyline was. We talked about the kids, Alicent, Otto.
Yeah.
Who is left? We've talked about Rhaenyra a bunch.
Rhaenyra. Let me see.
Corlys and Rhaenys.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. I wanted to
What are
ask,
they gonna do now? They just keep taking L's, man.
Yeah, they stink.
Corlys and Rhaenys Targaryen.
They got some grandkids
Yeah. So we
and some fake grandkids that they've honestly been like. That whole family has just been so great to those kids and Rhaenyra.
they were still raised by them. It's not their fault they were born. But I kind of liked seeing there was like some more development here, I think, because for the first time, Rhaenys, we see her calling her husband out on like, you don't give a crap about if I had a claim. It's all about your own ambition. You're the one that wants the power. But she also does want to protect Driftmark and her legacy because she's begging him to pass it on to the Valeryon kids and wait, to which kids? Oh yeah, so like
The
Daemon's
little girls.
not Rhaenyra's kids because
They're actually their blood.
yeah. So I like seeing that scene from her, and I'm hoping we do get to see more from her as well because she's a Targaryen. She has a dragon. Like, what's up? Do something.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're going to be
I'm-
more inclined to do that this time. Now that Leonor's dead and he's not ever going to produce children, now they really need to lean into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder like what's going on with their grandkid. Like, you know, how are their kids going to play into their grandkids going to play into everything? Daemon's
Well, it
kids
sounds
specifically.
Daemon's
It
kid.
sounds like Corlys doesn't care about Daemon's kids because they don't have the Valyrian name. And he
Yeah.
just seems to care about that.
Right. At the end, when he was like, history doesn't remember blood, it remembers names. And I was like,
Mhm.
the cold. He doesn't even give a shit. He doesn't really care about like
His whole like speech in this episode is like, you're a girl, you can't be queen. They're girls. That's a problem. It's the whole series.
I like
just
these
comes
little
down to that.
brown-haired boys.
Gross.
I wonder what scenes they cut out in this episode. Dragons Forever asks.
They have apparently been cutting out a bunch of scenes from the
It
show, and
feels
all
like
of them
stuff is
sound
missing.
interesting. Yeah,
It feels like stuff is
does.
missing.
missing in each episode though, which is something that's consistent that I've been saying, like all of us have been saying each week that like we need more scenes. So yeah. But I think I think like considering that and then what they gave me in this episode, I just like accepted it and it had worked for me this week. I could feel different next week. We don't know. But okay, let's get down to are there any predictions? Any predictions?
I think through this time jump, Viserys is going to die. I don't think Viserys is going to survive this time jump. That's my guess.
All right. And what about you, Age?
Well, I don't know. I've almost reached the point where I don't even care anymore. It doesn't take a lot to beat like the love of a show out of me, but like these last episodes have really done it. So like, I don't know. Daemon and Rhaenyra are probably going to get along really, really well. But I think that her
Right.
first kids are going to like have some kind of trauma.
Or deformity.
Deformity.
They
Deformity.
Deformity.
could. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like future kids?
It's incest babies.
Ugh.
Has there been any deformed Targaryen? Like that's a great point. Where are the deformed Targaryen kids?
They're usually
So-
like, I guess the incest usually comes out through like madness or some kind of crazy thing.
Well, I
so.
also found out that I mean there's a lot of stillborn kids, but apparently in the books, Lena had a stillborn deformed child. So like they're out there, and it's probably part of the reason why Emma couldn't have her kid, and it's also probably why like Leonor and Rhaenyra couldn't sire a kid. Like she probably had miscarriages because the kids are all super like inbred, except like Alicent's kids and her kids with Mr. Strong.
Mm-hmm.
They're out
Okay,
there.
let's get to MVP of the episode to close out our show tonight. Who's the MVP of the episode for you guys tonight? For episode 7 of Driftmark, House of the Dragon.
I know. It's the little boy who said, "I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it." He
Oh.
doesn't want to be the Lord of Driftmark because then everybody will be dead. But he said the
yeah.
words.
Oh, I'm gonna guess that was Lucerys, aka Luke.
Lucinda.
It was the oldest of the little brown-haired boys. I
He
know
was
that.
the second because
I thought Jace was the oldest one.
because Jace is gonna be the king consort, and then the second born gets Driftmark.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
how it works. All right. Everybody would be dead.
Yeah. Okay, that's a funny pick. How about you, Andres?
Sorry, I do want to say I did like that scene because it's kind of one of those things I think about too. Like this whole struggle is like everybody waiting for Viserys to die, and I'm like, man, that's cold as hell. This is the first kid to be like, I don't want that. Everyone will be dead. And I was like,
He's
damn,
a sweet child.
it takes a kid sometimes.
Yeah. like he's not gonna make it because he's too sentimental.
I don't know. I don't have faith that any of these little brown haired boys are gonna make it. Honestly, I think the
Yeah.
Aemond and Aegon are gonna rip through them hard. They've been getting the better training as well.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
And now they have the bigger dragon.
Oh, this
So
is a point to the rulies. Actually, that's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have no faith in those little brunettes. My MVP, man, I picked like the kids as a whole last week, so
Yeah.
I don't want to go 2 weeks in a row, but it's got to be Aemond, right? Like I feel like that was the only thing that happened that was like good all the way through. I was like, this makes sense that he would go after this dragon. They set that up well. And it makes sense that the kids would get mad, they'd get in a fight, he loses the eye, and that would start like a shitstorm on its own.
It's because
and
of
there
show
was
don't
good
tell.
development there. So
It's because it was a story. You saw it happen. They did not explain
Yes.
something to you that happened.
those
That's
three
why.
those three scenes back to back were the strongest part of the episode, and Aemond, none of it would have happened without Aemond. So MVP. Dragons Forever. I think the king finally dies, and the queen won't tell Rhaenyra, who's at Dragonstone, that the king is dead. So the
Yikes.
weekend at Bernie's situation.
No one send a raven. She's blocked.
Andres kind of stole my answer for MVPs. I feel
Oh.
like
Okay.
Aemon, it's like such a surprising thing that like the second born is like the one who's like the interesting kid and like the one that you want to keep your eye on because how he's growing up being bullied and being like the underdog, but now he's like the biggest dragon. So now I feel like his ego, he's gonna be very dangerous. So I think he's been made now like a very interesting character to watch. Okay, I have to, because I don't want to pick the same answer. So I will choose I'll choose Alicent just because, which I already said, I like seeing her lose her marbles a little bit because that was something new to a character who's used to we're used to seeing be so much more straight laced. So it's kind of like made me not be too bored with her, and I want to see, you know, what else is she gonna do or what she's gonna plan, because she was also like fighting back with her husband. She was like, I don't care if you're the king, I'm the queen, and I want to do this. I want to get that eye. I want
that eyeball.
So I'm excited to see what else she's like. F this, I'm doing what I want. She's become like a bit more interesting to me. So
yeah, it's come a long way. I feel like the first 4 episodes, whatever, until Alicent came out in that green dress, she was such a boring character. I couldn't even imagine her being interesting for a while. And she's come a long way.
Yeah.
People on Twitter hate her, and I get it, but this is a pretty Hightower empathetic recap show. I feel like we have empathy. We're not Team Hightower. We get it. We get it.
They're not pure evil. Like, she wants to protect her kids. Like,
exactly.
Who cares about Rhaenyra? Who cares that they were friends when they were kids?
I don't think any of them are evil. Although at the end, when they faked killed Laenor, I was like, well, damn.
When you thought it was real?
I didn't like that.
I did think it was real. And when I thought it was real,
I was like, okay, this is terrible.
So who am I? I feel like, was that going to be a good job of like making me feel like, well, I feel like I can't root for anybody for this throne. But I guess that's the point, because it's like the throne makes you do bad things, you know?
I know, but I feel like that would have been so much. I almost would have been Team Hightower at that point. Just because they set up how nice Laenor was for like 2 episodes straight. And he was really nice. In my head, I was like, this is a character that's like nicer than Ned Stark. I was like, this is the nicest guy ever.
But Ned Stark dying like made sense to you, right? Because he was being stupid.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, the first season of Game of Thrones is so much better than the first season of the show.
I rewatched that episode last week following our episode, and that was handled also in almost a completely different way than the show. Like the episode where he loses his head is an episode where they touch upon every single character, and they're all having something meaningful happen in their character arc. And then it ends in the climax with Ned and Arya is there on the fountain watching or whatever. It's so great, but it's a moment that it was baked.
It's
it took
earned.
time.
They earned it.
They earned it. They didn't put it in the air fryer. They put it in the big boy fire oven.
Yeah. They didn't do it in the last like 90 seconds all at once.
Yeah, it was
like,
marinated.
They're
Jesus
like, all
Christ, we
right,
had
come
a
on, we're
death
canning
of
out Ned.
death of the
And-
king consort. Death of what
Yeah.
was it? Death of the king consort, a boat, marriage, like all of that in 90 seconds.
Yeah. Imagine if they did that with like Dragons Forever said, but their daughter predicted
Ooh.
that Aemond would lose an eye.
Is that what Helena keeps talking about when she's talking about her spiders? I have no idea what she's saying. She's so
I don't know
weird.
what she was talking about either.
Yeah, I guess she might end up being interesting too.
Maybe
They
she's
really
magic.
they don't
I
give
keep
her a lot of
waiting
time.
I keep waiting for her to matter because I feel like they're making her seem like she's kind of quirky and out there and like, what does she do?
Like,
I
honestly,
I don't know,
I
but
thought she was on the autism spectrum, and now I think she's magic. So I
Now
don't know.
we want to go back to her scenes, Dragon Forever, to pay attention to the gibberish she's saying because
I
that's
do, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. And I really, if you have Aemond, who we all kind of like really gravitate to and makes the show interesting to watch, and now he's got an eye patch that's going to make him even more cool.
Yeah.
He's got the biggest dragon.
Yeah.
If his sister is magic, and you know, like, and Aegon's just like the king, like the Viserys of that group, I'm like, it's gonna be really hard to root for Rhaenyra and Daemon after the way they've like kind of just mishandled their characters. I feel
It's
like a
because their
little bit.
kids suck.
The
Their
kids
are
are
lame.
Oh, their kids, yeah, their kids are nothing. They're just like regular brown-haired little like nobodies.
No, but even the little girls are just Lena 1 and Lena 2.
How are you gonna root against like a magic lady and a dude with an eye patch? It's like
Eye
so
patch
cool. Yeah, he's like, I stole this dragon.
Well, we, as y'all said, 3 episodes can still be a lot of time. So we'll see what Team Black does with their children, and then I guess the Lena kids are also Team Black as well. So I mean them too. So now they have 3. So they have 6 kids then. Daemon and
Is it a Brady
They
Bunch
got 5.
situation?
They got 5.
5 because
I think he has 2, and she had the 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I think he has 3 because I think he has twins, and there's like a third. I think.
No, that one
Well,
died.
they were gonna have a third, I guess.
Wasn't that gonna be the 4th child?
No, it got fried up like a piece of chicken.
I thought that was number 4.
Piece of chicken.
One that baked or barbecued. Oh my god. Poor child. Okay, well, it's fake. It's fine. Well,
it's
cool.
Alicent who has a child that's floating around somewhere.
We did it, y'all. Thanks, y'all, for watching. And those of the future, thank you for watching. Please leave your ratings of the episode. Dragons 1 through 5. Let us know why.
I won't be here next week.
Worked for you. It didn't.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
I will not be here next week. I will be in Berlin for my day job.
Enjoy.
Dragons Forever.
Melissa, it's just us.
Okay, cool. We'll miss you, Andres. Hopefully, do you think you'll watch it at all in Berlin?
I will, but the time difference, I don't know when I'll get to watch it, but I will watch it as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, and then just let us know your thoughts on the episode.
Yes, I will rate it 1 out of 5 dragons.
Okay, so yeah, next week we'll just have me and Age to watch and recap episode 8 with y'all. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. It's very important because YouTube will not let you know when I've uploaded. So you got to hit the bell to be notified and share this with all your Game of Thrones friends. Let's be nerds together. Let's build this community. has been, I can't talk. This has been so much fun every single week, y'all. So I'll see you guys next week. I'm going to click end now on my phone. How do I do that? Okay, and sing the song.